your host, Sophia, and my guest today is Tristin Allison Chiafullo. Now, she is a fitness trainer and lifestyle coach who works with men and women over 40. She focuses on improving metabolic health through lifestyle choices. Now, yeah, I'm sure we all know that there are some choices that we're making that are probably not good for us. So, welcome, 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 and thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sophia. It is an honor to be here with you and to share what not only I've learned, but I have personally experienced that has improved the quality of my life and um, in the same, you know, protocols that I use to coach and teach my clients who have experienced the same positive results. And happy to expand that with your network and see, who else can I can help in this space. So happy to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's just get through the basics, and then I got a ton of questions.
Sure.
So, how did you get started, and like, what made you decide? Well, I'm going to become a nutritionist and a fitness coach, and I'm going to do lifestyle stuff. What made you jump into that and take you to where you are right now?
Great question. And it's a little vulnerable if I could be, and very real. I'm very real and transparent about it and honest. And the honest truth is, I turned 40. When I turned 40, I was physically didn't look the way that I wanted to. And I was single and I had not been married. And I was attracted to men who were probably not attracted to me. Okay. And so I knew that I needed to make a change. And that was the driver initially. It was more aesthetic and superficial. And I just decided that I was going to move more than I sat and eat whole natural foods and just see what happens. I felt like at the time those were the two things that not always easy, but it was simple. The simplicity behind that for me felt doable. And so that's what I did. And I stopped watching as much TV. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm just going to walk. I'm going to move. And then I just stuck to really like single ingredient meals, like foods, like a steak, a vegetable, you know, a potato, and just did that for quite a while. I saw and felt an immediate result. I really did. It was quick. And that's when the superficial reason and motivation became physiological. The meaning and the motivation behind it, what made me start, became something much bigger because due to the result that I got from making just those changes. And I was like, surely it has to be more complicated than this. I think as humans, we do that where we want a program. We feel like we have to, buy some big thing or have this product or this supplement or this, and it's this magic thing that's going to transform us. And the truth is that's not it at all. It's all the things that anybody can really do. We can all move more and be intentional about that, right? And we can eat whole natural foods. Okay, we can do that. And so that the simplicity And the results just drove the rest of what I was doing. And I was selling new homes for a builder actually at the time. I had been in real estate for years and I had chronic pain. I had pain in my back. I had pain in my shoulders. I had pain in my hip. I had skin problems. I was allergic to the outside and allergic to pets. And these are things I just lived with, that I thought, I mean, I would take a Zyrtec every day and I took this pill and I did this for that, and I was managing ailments,
Right.
and I was just like, this can't be my life. This can't be it. So sharing all of that to say that I eliminated my allergies. I mean, to everything. Um, I eliminated obviously excess fat. I eliminated all of my skin problems, most of which were coming from gluten products. And so tying in with that specifically, that was one of the things, just really for me, the gluten is tied to the processed food. Anything that's processed is our bodies just don't know what to do with that. Don't. And so it's going to manifest into a skin problem, stomach sensitivity, gut disruption, endocrine system disruption, um, and all of those things. And I realized it took time for that to evolve to that realization. But to answer your question, when I did this, was consistent with these simple things and felt these incredible results, I just decided really at that point that I needed to pour myself into that. Like, that's what I was passionate about. For the first time in my life, it was like meaningful, what I was doing. And I was like, I have to share this. I can't keep this a secret. And really, truly, for most of my life, I never really felt like I was doing what I was meant to.
Mm.
So it wasn't really like, oh, it was this just super like major transition. I always wanted to do meaningful and purposeful work. I just wasn't really sure. But my personal experience with these changes led to then acquiring my personal training certification, because once I lost this 40 pounds, I lost 40 pounds of excess fat, cured so many things that were happening to me, as I mentioned.
Mhm.
I wanted to change the shape of my body and get stronger. I just, and also through the results that I had already gotten, I was seeking more and more information. I just wanted to learn. Like, I literally stopped watching the news. I stopped listening to music and I poured myself into podcasts. So I would listen to health, fitness, nutrition podcasts, self improvement podcasts. It's like all I would do on my walks. That's what I was listening to.
Mhm.
So then that information that I acquired led to, came across like a commercial. You know how that algorithm works, right?
Right.
Or the National Academy of Sports Medicine and personal training certification. And then they offer all kinds of certifications for nutrition coaching, wellness coaching, corrective exercise, all of this. And I was just like, loved it all. Right. And so my mind at the time was, I'm going to acquire my personal training certification so that I would know what to do in the gym.
Right.
I am not one of those people who just goes and does something without knowing, especially when it comes to, at least for me, it made sense to, like, I don't want to injure myself. I don't want to do anything wrong or incorrect. Like, and I'm saying all of that to say that I see most people doing that. I applaud anybody who goes into a gym, because that effort matters. It does.
It does.
But it's really going to matter when you know what you're doing and you know how to effectively perform those exercises with the correct form and technique and the sequence of those exercises. And then what exercises do you need to do to optimize your result? So when I committed to acquiring the certification, I fell in love with the information. I fell in love with I was like, "This" everything just clicked. It was just I was like, "Okay, I love this. I love learning about the body. I love what's" and then it reinforced what I was learning, reinforced what I had already personally experienced through my own effort. So, it was just this snowball effect of, like, this is amazing. This is what we all should have been taught in school. Like, this is just basic, like, how do we fuel and move our bodies in the way that they were designed and meant to. And that's really what it came down to for me. And then, yeah, so I acquired my certifications and then just yeah, did poured myself into. I was just very, very passionate about. And also on a personal, very personal note, everybody in my family has passed early. My father was unwell and had congestive heart failure and diabetes. I lost my mother in 2016 to cancer. That was the type of cancer that was from lifestyle choices. There's no question. Um, and then my grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins, and not one of those people ever picked up a weight or were ever intentional about what they put in their body, you know? And so when you hear about to the genetics and people will say, "Oh, it's genetic that you have this and this." Even like the gluten thing, that's not genetic. We aren't meant to have that. There's a reason our bodies are sensitive to that, you know? Um, and we'll talk more about that, later. I'm sure you have questions that I can dive into on that. But the for me, it was just like I grew up in this family. I had the same influence. I had the same, and I was able to change so much that was wrong with me that I saw people in my family just live with and not do much of anything about. Um, and then just kind of progressively decline. And I was like, that's just that can't it's not gonna be me. I'm just not I refuse to subscribe to that and relinquish control over my health and my quality of life and my longevity.
So it sounds like you started out kind of just flirting. Flirting,
Yeah,
I'll just flirt with the food and the fitness,
yeah.
and it's almost not now you're married to it.
Sophia, I did. We flirted and I am married for life. I am committed. I am so committed and I'm married to helping people too.
So, what one of the things that I really wanna pull out of that is
Yeah.
it's never too late to change. Because you can look at what's going on in your environment, you can look at what happens generationally in your family,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that you don't have the sovereignty within yourself to be different, to just completely decide and then make a decision to be consistent. Now, I know consistency can be very difficult because I know sometimes consistency is difficult for me.
Mhm.
I start something and I'm doing it and I'm doing it and I'm doing it and I'm doing it and then I'm not. And it's
Yeah.
man. So then it's like get back on the train. And but I think the idea
Yeah.
is to always keep getting up. Just keep getting
Yes.
and keep going. And
Yes.
and one of the things that you said also is that you started simple.
Simple.
Just go for a walk.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a situation where I'm walking way more than I used to because I used to go for a daily walk at, like at least 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a situation where it's like if you want to get from point A to B, you're gonna have to walk because I don't have a car at the moment. So I'm walking a whole lot more. And
Love that.
but the thing is, it's okay because even I I had to do the whole mindset change. It's like, stop mourning the fact that you don't have a car right now, because it doesn't mean you're never gonna have one, and just celebrate the fact that you get more steps in.
Yeah.
Well, just tweaking that thought process
Yeah.
and changing the mindset just
Yep.
makes it, I wouldn't even say more tolerable, it just makes it enjoyable, because then I'm walking and I'm noticing things and, and then getting my steps in. So I'm looking, it's like, okay, ooh, how many steps? Just like, okay, if I just go over here, get that much, that more many steps. So it is really, it's a shift in your mindset, but I like that you're talking about making it simple. So not trying to
Yeah.
do 10 things at the same time.
No. I and I a as I did with myself and as I coach, and teach my clients, one thing, start with one and one thing and be consistent doing that one thing and see what happens. I'm a very see what happens. That we have to come from a place of what's going to work for you. People will ask me often, Tristan, what's the best cardio to do? It's not the right question. The question is, and I say to them, I answer with a question. What are you going to be consistent doing?
Mhm.
That's the right cardio for you. What, and we're looking to be told, yet we're not considering what what we're inclined and wired to want to do. So you have to approach it from that place of, okay, what are you going to be consistent doing? Just do that. That can come in there's so many modalities of movement that we can choose from. Pick one, right?
Well,
Walking is the simplest because we all can do it if we're capable, right? We can move our legs. So I would say that and why that one is the one I recommend the most is because it's the one that has the most benefit mentally and physically, and also that's the most easy to start, and it's not going to make you hungrier. You know, More intense, we think too that the more intense the exercise, the better the result. The opposite is true because that's stress on the body. I'm going down a little rabbit hole here. I hope it's okay because the stress on the body, we already are carrying quite a bit of that. And when you want then add more, our bodies go into a state of survival. And then anything that you consume, you're going to hold on to. So less is often more. Just be consistent doing it. The
well, I,
consistency is the most important.
and I really think that a lot of time, I mean, school puts us in that realm of being told what to do. And then you get out of school, and if you went into corporate, you get used to being told what to do.
Yes.
So, but when it comes down to your fitness, of course, you want somebody who you think knows more than you to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the course, I think. And until you start realizing that sometimes fitness can, like you said, just come in, what would you be consistent doing? What do you enjoy doing? Because I like dancing, and there was a class I used to take, on YouTube, and I was like, I look forward to the class, like, "What time is it?" And then YouTube started putting in commercials, like, every 3 seconds, and that kinda just ruined it, because it's like, how can you be in a fitness class, and then it's like, "Oh, so if you wanna build this website." "No, I don't wanna build a website." Let's skip that. So I had to find a different avenue. And I think that's the thing. We just all need to really be resourceful when it comes down to it. And then reflect on what you do like to do. Because again, I think because we spend so much time being so busy and being so stressed that we don't remember what we like to do. Or it's been so long since we've done things that we like to do. You have to relearn.
Or you never even thought about it. There's people who have not even never thought about what they enjoy doing. They never gave themselves the luxury to even sit with themselves to say, well, I don't even, to take that time, you know? And the reason I'm saying that, frankly, is because I was one of them. Everything I did for 20 plus years of my adult life, I am not doing it all now and haven't in 6 years. I'm 46 now. So it's just that kind of, realization blows my mind. You know, for years, I didn't do anything I enjoyed, really, because I didn't even know who that person was.
Right.
Right. And you made such a smart point, a couple smart points. When you said that, you know, we're in school, that's conditioning. And you're so right about that. Like, we've been conditioned to just be told instead of having our own agency.
Mhm.
Personal agency is what I value, I think, most, because that is the single most impactful thing that for me is the foundation of my coaching, frankly. But that, because it was so impactful for me, when I realized how much control I had over the quality of my life and over all of the things that were wrong in my life. I mean, it was just incredible. Um, and the freedom that that gives you, and the confidence and the empowerment. But it's the opposite of what we've been conditioned
Right.
to think and feel. You know, we're it's like, and it's something that I have been saying for quite a while that frustrates me about some people in my own family. They, like most people, believe that doctors, they trust them with blind faith,
Mhm.
and they trust the news with blind faith and everything that they're told with blind faith, versus literally thinking about, what do you think? What do you feel?
Yeah.
You know, the way that I operate my life is rooted in never having to need a doctor. I
And
don't
even if you do, you really need to be able to advocate for yourself because you
advocate.
only know so much, right?
Oh,
If you know your body best because you're living in it.
absolutely. One of the things I say, listen to your body. It's going to tell you what it needs, and it's going to tell you what it doesn't. It's going to tell you.
Yeah.
And it it tells you, it talks to you every day. I mean, if your body could, I say this all the time, like, if your body could talk, this is what it would tell you. It's going to tell you to eat protein. It's going to, and we'll get into that. But, you know, but you're so right. And that was just such a smart point. And yes, and that's, if there was one singular mental shift, or if whoever is listening, going to listen to this and takes anything away from it, I would say that it's that mental shift,
Yeah.
that right there, of everything you've been taught or conditioned. You got to take a step back from that and trust yourself and take your power back.
Yeah.
Stop giving your power away, because you have the power to change and impact your life more than anybody can. And it's two simple things that we have control over: what we put into our bodies and what we do with our bodies. That's it. Those are the only two things we really can control. And I find that to be incredibly empowering. I just think it's amazing to have that control.
Yeah. So, one thing that I did want to bring up for my listeners is that if you notice, 40 is that magic number.
Yeah.
40 is that number when you start to reassess.
Yep.
40 is that number when you're like, do I like who I have become?
Yeah.
And then maybe start sitting down and say, who do I want to become?
Yep.
You know? Because so
Yes.
many women that I've spoken to, it's like you hit 40 and then everything starts to move and change if
Yep.
you let it. Because
Yep.
if things are coming up, but then you may not be listening. And then you
Yes.
might not even start listening until you're 50, because that's the next milestone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 50. Is my life where I want it to be?
Yep.
I've done, and you mentioned being single, and there are a lot of single women out there in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and some is by choice, some is by circumstance,
Yep.
and some is just based on discernment because you just don't want to be with anybody. you know, so
You said the magic words.
so there's no shame there. But there's
No.
also what I wanted to say is that there's no shame in asking for help because you can't
No.
always see your blind spots. So you got into a space where you're like, yes, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. But also understand people that listening to the podcasts and then wanting to know more, that's actually asking for help because you're learning. And then some
Mhm.
people learn better with another person who can actually hold them accountable and
I'm
ask
gonna
a question that you might not think to ask yourself.
Yes.
You know?
That's so smart. Yes. And I just want to touch on that really quick and say the podcasts are what I could afford. If I could have at the time, because I gave up a lot to do this, a lot. I sacrificed a lot. It was worth it. I had no regrets. But if I had a Tristin, I would have invested in a Tristin. There's no question. I think coaches are invaluable. I have coaches for other things that I do, um, but, yeah. And so, if you can learn from somebody, it's I mean, that's essentially what I do, right? It's like, I want to teach you everything I've learned and, uh, acquired over the last several years and all of it and package it and give it to you in a condensed version, so you don't have to go through everything I went through
Right.
to get there. I'm gonna fast track you. Yeah.
So let's get into food.
Yes.
Because um there are a few things here. So
Yes.
yes, you went gluten free and
Yes.
currently gluten free. And but when I first started getting into being gluten free, I recognized that just because it's gluten free doesn't make it healthy. There's that.
No.
Um and I don't eat red meat, and so I do fish and fowl. But the not meat, it's not necessarily healthier for you either. So, one of the things is like when you're going to change your diet, look at what is healthy for you and
Yes.
just like jump on a bandwagon and just do what people are doing because it's trendy, you know? Um, because gluten-free food should become more mainstream. But again, like you said, if you're just eating simple food, then chances are it's gonna be gluten-free because 'cause you're eating meat, you're eating vegetables, you're eating grain, you're eating fruit.
And it's exactly it. Yeah.
There's ways to put them together
Yep.
to make them tasty. So I know you have some recipes that
Yes.
you're willing to share that includes dessert, because I think
Yes.
for some people that's the whole thing. That's where they can just, like, fall off, and it's like, "Oh my god, there's nothing to eat."
There is. And it's so much better because why not also, enjoy our palates can enjoy in the same way that our bodies can too. Like we can have both. It can taste great and our bodies love it. And the next day we feel good. And the following day we feel good, and that's what it's about. Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, if you have, because I know when we spoke before, you said all your recipes are yours. So it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I went online, I found something, I tried it, and I'm calling it mine. These are all things that you eat on a regular basis. And
Yes.
so I would like to do that. And then once we get some of the recipes down, I'd also like to talk about being able to eat out
Yeah. I love that.
and feel like you're not a burden to the people around you and you can still enjoy food. Because I know sometimes I go out and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't eat beef. No, I don't eat pork. No, I can't eat the bread, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you start getting side eyes. It's like, well, what the hell can you eat?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to address all that. Now, my question to you is, do I drop the recipes in the chat, or am I going to give those to you separately? How are we doing that?
Okay, so you can send them to me separately so I can
Oh,
put
okay.
them in the show notes. But if you can just go over like maybe
Yeah,
a simple lunch
sure.
and like a simple dessert.
Got it. Yes.
Well,
Love that.
so they're listening, and if they want, they can write it down and say, "Oh, okay, maybe I can try this tonight."
Yeah, for sure. So my go-to, it's not, it's going to be simple. Okay. I'm just letting y'all know it's very simple because simple is what works. And so my go-to gluten-free but carbohydrate is white rice, basmati rice. And I meal prep with that. That for me is like probably the biggest cheat code because I prepared it last. I can put it in a container and then it's the foundation for everything.
Mm,
I even have it for breakfast. I'll have it with my eggs. It's so good with eggs. And the reason is because it's easily digestible.
okay.
It's filling, it's volume. And it's a very um, incredible source of energy, especially if you are active and on training days. It's great. It's white rice. Okay. So so for lunch or dinner, I even have some right here I can show that if that is going to be helpful. Uh, because I was eating right prior to and I didn't finish. So this is real time, real, real, real. Um, but this is what I have white rice, and then this is meal prep too. So what this is I got or pasture raised chicken breasts. That matters. Quality of proteins matter. We can get into that later. But I cook the chicken in bone broth.
Okay.
Bone broth is higher in protein. Okay. So and I actually did a beef bone broth. You can do chicken, but any grocery store has it. It just has to be bone, not stock. Stock doesn't have any protein in it. So don't do that. Get an unsalted bone broth. It's got like 9 grams of protein per cup. Okay. So you're adding so much nutrient benefits from doing that. Collagen, that skin supportive, bone, joint supportive. So I cook it in that. Okay. And then shred the chicken, take it out, shred the chicken, put it back in. And I have shallots, fresh garlic, and then whatever spices that you enjoy. I think put in here some smoked paprika, adds so much flavor. And then I did uh, green beans. So I had fresh green beans and I cut them. Those went in. And then I had some frozen spinach. That went in. And then I had a small can of tomato puree. That adds depth of flavor. That went in. That's why it's got a little bit of like a deep color to it. Salt, I do Maldon salt. Good high quality salt matters because there's tons of minerals in that that you need to have. Especially if you're doing a hot whole food diet like I do, like I would recommend everybody do, you need to be sure that you're adding an adequate amount of salt to everything because that's the only sodium you're getting
Mm.
because you're no longer now eating processed food. You're not eating packaged food. The reason that that lie got sold to us about salt was because processed and packaged food and fast food was loaded with sodium and not the good kind. Okay. You want to avoid that food, not sodium. You need sodium to hydrate your cells. Okay. So the sodium is what pulls water into the cells, right? So we need that. So we want to make sure we're doing high quality salts too. And then this is what I love about this is that it's better the next day. One of the things that or complaints or struggles that I would hear from clients was, Tristin, I don't like leftovers because I don't like the way it tastes the next day. And that's why I don't want to meal prep. This tastes better the next day
Mm.
because the flavors continue to develop
Right.
and it stays in its same. I've had this for 3 days. I make a huge pot of it and then it just it's delicious. Okay. And then your rice stays. So it's so easy. Like this is loaded with so much. I'm getting everything. It's super intentional because it's tons of protein. I have my veg for my volume and then a very easily digestible, simple carbohydrate white rice. It's done. Okay. You have everything that you need. And it took me 2 minutes to put this together. I think everybody has 2 minutes. I mean, it was quick to put together, even to cook. That was probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 total. And then I'm set for several days. It's just such a cheat code. On the sweet side, so like I do protein pancakes, gluten-free, of course. And my protein, I make my own flour out of oats, the
Right.
gluten-free oats, and then I blend those in my food processor. And so that pasture-raised egg, Greek yogurt, like the Fage, I do the lactose-free yogurt.
Some to find everywhere, but it's so good. I love that brand.
I love that brand. I use it in so many things and
Yeah.
it's so good. I love the texture of it.
Yeah.
And then a little milk, some salt, and then a good hearty, like a lot of cinnamon. Cinnamon adds so much natural sweetness, but it's incredible too for cell and our cells. And there is metabolism too. It speeds it up. It's a really incredible spice. And so I add that. And then what else do I put in there? I have this recipe that I'm going to link. I'll give to you. And then the baking powder that gives it a little bit of baking powder. And then that's a gluten-free baking powder, of course, and the oat flour. And then I blend all of that with my immersion blender. And then the key to making them really, really good, I just do a light spray of an organic olive oil in the pan. That's all you need. You don't need to be adding tons of butter and fat to it. You really don't. But the pan needs to be really hot. And then when you scoop it, it forms and shapes. So one of the things with pancakes, we love it. I love a pancake. When I think about a pancake, I don't know, it brings me back to childhood. It really just has this nostalgic connection that I just love. So to be able to eat pancake that I know is that my body's going to like as an adult and it's not going to send my, system into chaos and my gut into chaos is wonderful. And it tastes so, so good. I am telling you. And that my other trick, I want to share this for you, especially so I get a 100% fruit jam.
Mhm.
And it's high quality jam that's just sweetened with fruit juice, like a juice, and it has pectin in it. That's it. It's 100% fruit. portion it out, and then heat it in the microwave. Heat it up so it thins it out and it's a syrup. And then you just pour that on top. It adds a ton of flavor with a fraction of the amount of calories that could send your blood sugar into, skyrocket. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it balanced. And so it's such a cheat. And then I do fresh berries, just fresh, any berry. Blueberries are great because they're low glycemic and they add volume and flavor. And so, yeah, that's the pancake. And then desserts for me, I love. So I
So,
love.
can I just hold you here for a second?
Yeah.
When we're baking these pancakes, are we looking at like a cup of oat flour, like half a cup?
I have it all. Yeah. So it depends on how many people you're making it for. And you can have it. What I love to do is make double and then you can store it. I store it and then keep it, and then I can have the next day. You want to take it out of the refrigerator and get it to kind of room temp, right? But then you already have it made. So it's going to be, for that to have a good amount, you would just double it. So I have all the measurements, but yeah, it's my double recipe is like 2 eggs and then a full cup of the yogurt, and then maybe about 3/4, I think, of a cup of the oat flour, maybe less. You don't even need that much. Um, for extra protein, you can add liquid egg whites to it. This is a flexible recipe too. It's not like one of those very scientific where you have to have it'll still come out great because I've experimented with it a bit. Um, but yeah, you just double it if you want more, depending who you make it for. Like when it's for myself and I just want it that day, I'll just make it, just one, and have it. And then it's the rest. But you'll see on the recipe, in fact, for you, I will make a note that you can just double it, and then you just double each of the ingredients, and there you go.
Meal prep.
And it'll tell you how many it makes too. And then I also include the macros.
Okay.
I include the macronutrients, and I also, in all of my recipes, I include the intentional reason why, the why behind it and what it does physiologically to your body and why, like what the intention behind it. I think that is the connection and what has made allowed me to be so consistent. Because when you attach a ingredients and foods to intention and like, okay, I'm putting this in my body and this is the result I'm going to get, it becomes a part of sustainable change because you're thinking about that food as, okay, this is what's going to support my muscles and my growth and mental clarity, my focus. It's not going to disrupt my sleep. It's not going to disrupt my gut. It's not going to disrupt my digestion. This is good for it. This is good for my, hormone balance. This is skin tightening. Love it, Like you feel good about eating that food, right? When you're attaching it to that intention.
Well, and that's important because I was speaking to a friend of mine last night and she's really into math. And I told her I was never really into math because I didn't understand why I needed to learn it. I said, if they attached a why to you have to learn this and this is how you're going to use it. You have to learn this and here's your why behind why you're learning it.
Totally.
Then it would have made sense to me.
Right.
If it made no sense to me and I didn't know how to ever use it in life, it's like, yeah, just confusing.
I love that.
But yeah, I love the attachment of the why because I think that's what's missing from so many things. Because everybody doesn't need to know the why. Some people are just like, just tell me and I'll just do it. And there are other people who are always questioning everything. So if you tell them the why, they don't have to question now.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
I can get on this boat because I know where the boat's going.
But it's also Sophia, it's also like, why do you brush your teeth? You want to clean your teeth?
I was gonna say you want to enhance flour.
I'm asking you.
Oh yeah, because you want to have all your teeth in your head till the day you die. You want them clean. You
Yeah.
don't mouth issues or bacteria forming or tons of plaque. So yeah, you know why.
Right. So I use that as an example intentionally because that's the one thing that most people are consistent doing. They don't think about the why, but but even your answer isn't wrong, but I'll even go more simple than your answer is that when I want my mouth to feel clean, like as soon as possible. So like the first thing I do oftentimes in the morning is that. I want to brush my teeth very quickly, like I'm very compelled to do that. And because I want my mouth to feel clean. I want it. And so it's the same that you're not thinking about that why. You're just doing it because you want that result. Well, food is no different. The result from that food is clear skin, tight skin, mental clarity, focus, a restful sleep. It's all attached to all of that. And then if we want to take it even really a step further, we're preventing disease. We're improving the quality of our life. We're showing up better for all the things that we want to be doing, you know? And we're enjoying it because it tastes good. If it doesn't taste good, we're not going to eat it.
Right, that part.
Yeah. So that's important. That's I'm telling you, like all of my recipes are very intentional, very healthy, very simple, and very delicious. I have to say, I'm Italian and Croatian. I grew up eating in my arguably the best food, I think, and food was such a huge part of our lives. And so I'm not somebody who grew up eating bland food by any means. So I enjoy very good food.
Uh, well, and I think that's something that's really important because there are people out there who can just eat like a boiled chicken breast and like some steamed broccoli and be cool with that.
No.
Now, if I'm gonna eat, I want to enjoy my food.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not enjoying that. I don't even enjoy the sound of that. So thanks.
Right. And I think sometimes that's what people feel like they're gonna miss is
Yeah.
that enjoyment of the food, the mouth feel of it, the taste
Yeah.
of it. Just
No.
because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm having some good food, I'm not talking to you, chances are, and I'm having a moment. And I
Yeah.
just, I'm enjoying it because sometimes people start laughing because I'll just do the food happy dance because I'll be eating. It's like, yeah, this is good. When I get to that point, I'm not even consciously thinking about it. I'm just enjoying and I'm in the moment and I'm being present. And I think sometimes that is something that we're also missing when we're eating is being present. Because we're not present to the taste of the food, we're not present to the fact that we're eating, and I know I'm guilty of it because 'cause I'm not always present, and I'm like, "Dang, that's done?" Yeah, because you were eating and doing something else, and you weren't paying attention to your food.
100%. And that is one of the things that's one of the very simple things that I coach and teach my clients is intentional, like, and mindful eating. So like, you know, we all have these, right? We all have these phones and we're doing this, right? You're looking at a TV and you're not even mindful of what you're putting in your mouth. To your point, you're not really enjoying it because you're not with it. Your attention is somewhere else. So easy to overeat.
Mhm.
So easy. And if you just took the time to sit and appreciate and honor your food that you're putting into your body, you will eat a fraction of the amount probably. I mean, really, and mindfully just and eat your protein first. I always tell my clients to do that. Um, because that's important to do. There's a reason why, we want to make sure we're getting full on our protein first, and we want to feed. You don't have to do that forever. But if you have excess, weight to lose, some excess, you need to do that for a while. So that's one of the things.
First and then eat everything else after it.
Yeah, it's a huge hack that is very effective. Eat your protein first and
Now,
then everything else on your plate.
does that help when you're actually releasing the weight? Does that help tighten your skin as well?
It can for sure because protein just does that. And so when you're regulating your blood sugar through that, doing just that one thing, because protein is so effective at doing that, it you fuller longer, you curb cravings for other things that aren't going to serve you, and you're feeding muscle tissue.
Mhm.
And also, when you eat protein, that protein is more requires more to break down.
Mhm.
So you're burning calories just processing it. Okay. So yeah, so feeding muscle tissue, feeding cartilage, feeding your joints and your ligaments and all of that, yes, that also lends itself to skin tightening and for sure. And then again, avoiding other things you may be craving that do not serve you at all, that do not support skin tightening, you know, if that makes sense.
Oh,
So,
well, it made total sense to me because
yeah,
I kind of already knew that, but I thought I'd ask just to get verification because I've
yes,
heard it before. But
yeah,
then, everybody's different, right? So it comes down to how much protein do you need to actually see the results, the skin tightening, but then you also want to be exercising, doing strength training so that as you're feeding your muscles, then they're growing and your skin's tightening at the same time.
100%. It's called collagen and elastin synthesis. Okay. And what that is, so it's the amino acids in the protein and micronutrients combined that provide incredible skin tightening properties. The body's incredible. So, I mean, a lot of that might sound to like just average person. I don't mean average, but just, someone not in
If you
my,
don't.
yeah, someone not in my space, right? But it can sound complicated or complex. And I don't, but it's not. Just know that it is that collagen, I think, is a pretty common term now. Elastin, we see that word in some skin um, creams and lotions and things like, we hear that word sometimes. And synthesis. So it's a synthesis. It's a combination, right, of that one thing working together to provide an outcome.
Right.
Okay. And that outcome is that tightening of the skin for sure. Everyone thinks I've had work done, and I haven't. If I showed you a photograph of me at 26, number one, you would think that it was somebody different,
Mhm.
but you would think that the 26 was 46. And you would think me now, it's incredible. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, that's why I can't talk about this. I could talk about that alone, just the benefit of protein uh and the effects on the skin are I could talk about for a long time because it's incredible.
Well,
But
in case
yes,
someone wanna find you and actually have that conversation with you, how can they do that?
yeah, love that. Yeah, so I would love to just I mean, you can find me on Instagram. So Tristintentional_coaching. That's my handle.
Say that one more time.
So Tristan Tensional. So my name Tristan is spelled TR, and it's interesting because I have. Can I tell a personal little anecdote story?
Sure.
Um, I hope I don't cry. Um, I asked when my mother was dying of cancer, I never had asked her this. And I thought this is the time I have to ask her about why she spelled my name the way she did, which is Tristin,
Mhm.
because you see it Enan. And she told me that she just liked it and it just looked better to her. And she told me it was the feminine gender spelling. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what she told me. Um, anyway, it goes with Tristin intentional.
Mm.
Intentional. And so when I decided to name my coaching business that, everything was the common denominator and everything was intention.
Right.
So Trist Intentional is my coaching business. So it's Tristin Intentional underscore coaching.
Okay. So that's your Instagram.
It is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Is that the
And
best
then
way to get in touch with you?
it is that it I think that's easiest if you don't have Instagram. Um my email is tristintentional@gmail.com. You can just shoot me a message. I respond to those every day, like quickly. And then my Facebook, Tristin Intentional Coaching. I have a Facebook page and it's Tristin Intentional Coaching. So LinkedIn, same Tristin Intentional Coaching. You can find me there as well. But yeah.
Well, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for being here today.
Yes.
And I look forward to getting some recipes so I can put them in the show notes and then you guys can start making some yummy food that is actually good for you.
Yes, and I wanted to I'll give you I just made them. They're so, so good. I don't do you like Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies by any chance?
Not a huge fan. Maybe one.
Not a huge fan of the mint.
Yeah. Like
You
I
can
love
leave.
mint and I love chocolate and I love the ingredients individually, but there's something
Yeah,
about putting them together that doesn't work for me. It's the same thing with Reese's that peanut butter cups. I
peanut,
love butter and I love chocolate. I don't like peanut.
just not together. Totally fine. I was asking, people had been asking, it's Girl Scout cookie, whatever. Anyway,
Right.
so I do a gluten-free refined sugar-free Thin Mints, but you can leave the mint out and have a really good just chocolate cookie that's delicious. Just leave that mint extract out. But if you like them, that is one of the sweet treats that is just so, 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 so good. I have tons of others too. But yes, I will uh, send you those, and I hope that the audience will try them and enjoy them.
Well, I know I will. So hopefully you guys can too.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you and you guys just look out for the show notes and get the recipes and good eats.
Yes. Yes. We will living gluten-free and happy. Happier than you were before. I have no doubt. So, yes, we're not without feeling like you're missing anything.
Exactly. No FOMO.
No FOMO. Thank you, Sophia. This was great. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.